Hi guys, it's Rye, and today it's Thursday, which means Throwback Thursday, and I'm back with another history video. And today's history video is about Puerto Rico and its history. And this is actually personal to me because I'm Puerto Rican, and it's really just crazy how they did us. So back in 1888, when Puerto Rico was fighting for independence or slash freedom from Spain, the USA got involved, and instead of giving them freedom or independence, they just took the land. But that didn't go over well among the citizens, and generally taking land wouldn't go over well against citizens. Now, this will come into play later. So they start electing American governors to rule over Puerto Rico for the meantime, and it's not even a state, and it's still not a state to this day. So they start electing American governors who don't even speak Spanish, and they just say, "Go on out there, you got this." So a man named Charles H. is elected governor, and he starts raising taxes like the heat in hell. So it just keeps going up, up, up. It's taxes' moment. And by the time his run as governor is over, the taxes is so high that people cannot even afford the land. So they start selling. So what he does is he goes back to New York, creates a company that will later become Domino Sugar, goes back to Puerto Rico, buys a bunch of land, and starts sugar farming over there, and hires a bunch of Puerto Ricans paying 4 cents an hour. Paying them 4 cents an hour. And in today's money, that's maybe $1 an hour, maybe. So he's basically paying them nothing, and while everything is costing half of their liver. So they start getting mad. And a man named Ramea Alims, I believe I'm saying that right. He was a Harvard graduate and also Puerto Rican descent. He starts making a group called the Nationalists, like the Black Panther Party, but Puerto Rican. So they start protesting because this is horrible. They don't like the state that they're they don't like how they're living. So they start protesting, and all they get back is violence. And the best way I can explain this to you is on a note that an American doctor left on Puerto Rico. It's basically saying Puerto Ricans are animals, and that he murdered several of them and installed cancer into several more, which, instead of getting into legal trouble for literally confessing to murder, they put him on the front page of Time magazine. Because what says we care about Puerto Ricans more than letting someone who's confessed to murdering several Puerto Ricans go onto Time magazine? So after this, it's genuinely crazy. So it starts like a murder war, kind of, because the police kill one of the nationalists. And in response, the nationalists killed the police's commander or chief, I believe it's called. And they didn't like that, so they killed 5 of the nationalists. They killed 1 more police officer. And then one day, in a peaceful protest, they get, how do I say this? Rushed down, as they say. Because the police decided, well, they're protesting. Let's kill 50 of them and then severely damage or break bones of every other person there. So the 50 that died were not discriminated against, like, at all. Call that non-discrimination. They murdered kids, elders, anybody, male or female. 50 gone, single day in a peaceful protest. Now, after this, Albizu was given 70 years for apparently the death of the chief police officer. And this was obviously rigged, and it was genuinely bad. So they start, and this is all before 1940, where World War II starts. Future Ryky here. I'm just popping in to tell you about some stuff that I didn't specify or say earlier. And what I didn't say was specifying the Jones Act, which is the act that means that Puerto Rico cannot have its own food imported from other countries other than the USA. It's not saying that it can't trade with other countries, but what it's saying is its food must come from US owned ships, which basically means the US trades for us, then gives us the scraps, basically. And I did also forget to mention the spying that they did, which started after the Albiz was locked up for 70 years. And they started spying on anyone that they thought might be a nationalist. They were spying on everything: your mama, your sister, your daddy, your horse. Maybe even one of my family members got spied on, because it didn't stop until the 2000s. And it's true, because the FBI genuinely had everything. Everybody was being spied on. If you thought that they were a nationalist, and even if they left Puerto Rico, like if someone went to New York, they would still spy on them if they thought they were a nationalist. And this is crazy because they just kept spying until the 2000s, nearly into the 2010s. So they just kept spying on people without their knowledge or consent, by the way, just because they thought they were nationalists and decided, yeah, spying on people and being basically a creep is the best way to go about it, because we think they're a nationalist. So I just wanted to pop in, clarify all that, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Back to the video. In World War II, they amazingly give Puerto Rican people American citizenship, so they can go let Puerto Rican men fight in the war. How do I feel about that? That is very dirty, and I don't like that at all. So in 1940, they give them citizenship just so that way they can go fight in the war. Now, they still can't even vote on the flipping president because they're not a state. And this is crazy because they're not even a state, but they're technically owned. They don't want to give them it's horrible at this point. And at this point, the governors start deciding, let's just put a bunch of debt on Puerto Rico. And Puerto Rico can't really do anything because it's broke, genuinely. The people of Puerto Rico is dirt poor. They are all dirt poor except for the companies that are there. So this leads to them getting debt. And with this debt that they get from the United States, it just keeps going with interest and more interest, and it's so bad. And they wound up getting a vulture, which it's hard to explain. They kind of take the loan for you, sue the person that they took the loan from, and get more money out of that. It's hard to explain, but that's the best way I can describe it. Now, they're in so much debt, approximately 30 billion, I believe. Yeah, it's a lot. Now, the last time someone mentioned this debt that I remember, it was a governor saying, the debt is unpayable. We cannot pay that. And that's basically giving up, because it's an unpayable debt, basically. At least 70% of the debt is all interest. And they couldn't even really do anything because they're broke. The taxes rates are out of the sky, and it's so bad. So we're going on with a story about Puerto Rico, and I can't tell you about Puerto Rico without saying for the fact that the amount of times that there have been water shortages and blackouts when I am in Puerto Rico is crazy. And it's even worse how I'm describing you the story. So after this, there's a whole lot of ruckus. Well, not even a whole lot, because they really don't have any power. All they can do is do their normal lives, which would be buy water, buy food, and hope the power doesn't go out. And really, the only time that people remember Puerto Rico other than a nice vacation stay is when a hurricane hits them, and instead of responding like they did with California, I believe, they instead respond by throwing t-shirts. That, if I had been there on the island when the hurricane had hit, I probably would have been telling you a much different story than I am today. And the worst part is, some of my family was on that island when the tornado hit. And I thank God every day that they're still here and they had enough water to keep them for the whole time. I thank the people who keep our traditions and our dances alive, because that's what I really love about Puerto Rico. Now, I also love everything, including myself, because I came from Puerto Rico. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, and I'm going to be back with Haiti.